Hello and welcome back to the house in Fata Morgana. Now that we're making use of the backlog function, it's pretty clear that the memories we are seeing are not the whole truth. And while I'm not quite ruling out the maid as an unreliable narrator, at least in parts, it's also quite clear that the person that we are playing, they don't want to acknowledge what really happened either. But I'm sure we'll get into this eventually, so for now, let's get back into the story. A ray of light. And that marked the true beginning of their quiet days together in the dark mansion. They acknowledged and accepted each other's presence, no longer isolating themselves, but actively, regularly conversing. As mundane as it might seem, it was something they had been unable to attain until then. Nevertheless, they were still somewhat fumbling around in the dark with one another, drawing closer and pushing away again. Michel, in his own ungraceful way, was beginning to open himself up to the things she said. And the white-haired girl was beginning to smile with greater frequency. They had taken to dining together, and her wish of learning to read was being granted. He taught her in the feeble light of a candle placed upon the table, the two sitting across from one another. Though Michel seemed to be well educated, he had not been instructed in the art of teaching, so he found the process quite grueling. But to the white-haired girl, the longer it took, the better. Her primary objective was, after all, to spend time with him. The days passed, and eventually she reached the point where her companion was adequate enough without assistance. Her next request, then, was for them to read through a book together.
Have you read every book in the library?
No. I stopped looking at them after a while. Most everything I'm sent is dull, uninformative dreck. Sorry, I have to laugh, because dreck is a German word. Is it being used in English? Interesting. The Diary of a Lord, foolish make-believe tales.
You're not fond of fiction, I take it?
What value is there in the lies and fantasies of another?
Stories can be invigorating. Tales of adventure can take you places you could never go. Legends of heroes, folklore, stories of otherworldly phenomena. They can be terrifying, and they can be exhilarating. They may not be real, but they give you a little glimpse into the author's heart, let you feel like you're seeing the same thing they saw.
You are a very empathetic girl. Fiction inspires nothing of the sort in me. However, perhaps long ago it may have been able to, though I can no longer remember what it feels like.
I'm sure it'll come back to you. You're not an empty man. Sorry. I'm making you uncomfortable again. How about we read this book today?
Sorry, I don't know how often I have to go look at the backlog when when it doesn't make sense. So intriguing, always with these X'd out words. You're not an empty man. Interesting. Yeah, that was the same thing we saw before. To have her stay with me. Okay, sorry. We will do that now and again. It appears to be a collection of legends.
You haven't read this one yet, then? That's good to hear. It'll be more enjoyable if it's a new experience for the both of us. It looks like it's a record of local legends.
The book is divided into several sections, though it appears to be mostly superstitions.
I am curious what kind of stories this area has.
The two of them were looking down at a simple, undecorated volume. As the white-haired girl had said, it seemed to be a collection of local legends passed down generation to generation. They sat across from one another at the table, her turning the pages, and Michelle simply watching so as to not brush against her. Eventually, her eyes were drawn to a particular word on one of the pages, bringing her hands to a stop.
The witch.
That chapter detailed the story of a witch, or, more precisely, said witch's curse. The story went something like this. There once was a witch skilled in the dark arts. She lived a meager but peaceful life alongside the other villagers. But then, a long drought struck the village, which the people blamed on the witch. The witch was sentenced to death, and as the fire blazed around her, smoke rose high into the air. The smoke soon became rain clouds, blessing the village with an end to the drought. The crops were revitalized, and the villagers fancied themselves heroes. However, the rain also brought madness upon the people. Though the earth below them was lush and fertile, the villagers were losing their minds, and they eventually began to take each other's lives. The witch still lived on, in the form of a curse. Many fell victim to the witch's curse. Though it did not only take, it also fulfilled people's desires. The villagers had gone mad, but their wish for freedom from the drought had been granted. Thus, the legend has been passed down as follows. The witch will grant your wish in exchange for great sacrifice. As smoke in the sky, she watches down upon us from above. To reach the witch, climb for the heavens. But know that road is a road to destruction.
People still believe the witch's legend even now, I suppose. And that's why I
face accusations of being a witch. This is not an area very welcoming to outsiders, especially one who stands out as much as you. What brought you to this region in the first place?
Mine is a story I'm sure you've heard before. I was cast out of my house. I come from a very poor family. We could barely even afford to keep everyone fed. Being as weak as I am, it was only natural that I would be the first to go.
I see.
What I don't understand, though, is why the witch is said to grant people's wishes. That is to say, she had reason to hold a grudge, but not to give people things they asked for.
All we have to go on is a few pages. There's no saying what might have been changed or added over time, and it's almost certain the entire legend isn't written here. That said, if we are to accept everything as written, you can infer that the witch's reason might have been what the witch's reason might have been.
And that is?
If you truly want it that much, you can have it, but I'll make certain your suffering outweighs it. Despair that comes after a moment of happiness is far more agonizing than despair alone. I presume that is why the witch decided to grant people's wishes.
That is one way to look at it. May I ask you something?
Go on.
When I first arrived here, you told me that a cursed witch used to live in this mansion. After reading this legend, I'm now finding it hard to believe you made that up simply to scare me away.
I appropriated the tale, nothing more. It is said the witch was born in this house.
What?
Quite the place my family found for me. But it was a clever decision putting me here, I think. Not many people are likely to come near a house with such a pedigree.
But... no, never mind. That makes sense.
I suspect I know what she was going to say then. If the witch is said to grant wishes, then wouldn't that also attract people who so desperately want something? They do not care what price they must pay. And perhaps she was correct. Perhaps there had been those who had come to the mansion chasing after the legend. And perhaps they had encountered Michel, touched him, and lost their lives. On that day in the garden, he had said, "Many things are buried here." Perhaps that included such visitors.
I wonder if that story might be more than mere superstition.
If the witch of legend really did exist, what would you do?
It might be nice to talk to her, maybe.
That's all? Really?
I feel a little bad for her, though. The only people who ever visit her are there to ask for something, after all. I can only imagine just how lonely that must be.
I swear I cannot comprehend the way our mind works.
Sorry.
Although, If we assume the legend is true, I have an idea what climb for the heavens might mean.
Oh?
The mansion has an observation tower. Or, I suppose, what used to be an observation tower. At any rate, it is quite a tall structure. This is the house where the witch was supposedly born. A tower reaching for the heavens seems like the perfect place to find her, if she really is here.
Oh, yes. I remember seeing a rather tall structure as I first approached the mansion.
Would you like to see it?
Of course. Please, lead the way.
Oh yes, I was wondering about that, because, okay, if you think way back to the first door, the story the white-haired girl told, I forget his name, but told the boy this is supposed fairy tale, like a story her father told her, of a girl locked up in a tower, basically. Like, I was wondering, even at that time, if it was really her story, you know? If she was locked up there, if in this timeline she will be locked up there. Let us have a quick look at the backlog here. If there's anything that stands out. But probably not yet. Out of access. Sure you've heard before. Interesting. Well. The two of them left the library and made their way to the room with a stained glass window. At the far end of the room were the stairs to the observation tower. The tale of the witch had piqued the white-haired girl's interest, inspiring her to put herself forward to satisfy that curiosity. She had, after all, been accused of being a witch herself, so she undoubtedly felt an affinity to the legend. What a sweet girl she was. Right, and we also climbed those stairs with the maid. With Michelle in the lead, the two climbed a long, long spiral staircase. There were many more stairs than the white-haired girl had anticipated, and she soon found herself short of breath. Rectangular windows were carved out of the stone in regular intervals. Peering through one of them, she could see a village in the distance. A pleasantly cool, high-altitude breeze brushed across her face. After much climbing, they finally arrived at the top, where a door made of partially rotted wood stood. Michelle pulled open the door, revealing a small room with no windows or doors in sight.
This is the top of the tower?
Despite it being called an observation tower, you could hardly observe anything from there. Her face contorted in confusion, the white-haired girl threw her gaze about the room. Glancing up, she saw only a darkened ceiling, and slightly below it, a single small window through which shone a little ray of light. The beam cleaved through the darkness like the sharpened blade of a beautiful sword. The darkness draped over the rest of the room only served to make more impressive that solitary ray of light. It had a magical, fairy tale quality to it. As if being pulled in by it, she drew toward the light. I suspect there was once a large window in this room. If you look closely, you can see seams in the stone of the wall. The color of the stone differs slightly on either side of the seams. I presume something caused them to seal off the window after it was built. Though I don't know what that something might be. When Michel's eyes fell upon the white-haired girl, wrapped in that beam of light, he sputtered to a stop. The man who never flinched at anything, who had long since distanced himself from such stirrings of the heart, was utterly bewitched. He had never seen her illuminated so vividly before, and he was having a great deal of trouble finding the words to describe her striking beauty. For someone who had been chased out of her home and accused of being a witch, the white-haired girl looked less like a practitioner of the dark arts, and more like one of the host of heaven. Michel undoubtedly felt the same way, for his gaze was affixed firmly upon her.
Dazzling, isn't it? Like a staircase leading to heaven.
Yes, perhaps so.
Is something the matter?
No, I'm fine.
You know, it feels like there's something odd in the air here. It feels like someone actually might be listening.
If the witch were to speak to you, what would you say to her?
I would ask her to tell me her true feelings, to tell me what kind of person she was, and what kind of pain she had to endure. I just want to know what she felt. This woman people branded a witch.
The legend was written from a neutral perspective. It's possible she was a fearsome witch. It's also possible she wasn't.
I get the feeling she was just persecuted, like me. Like me and you.
Unlike you, I truly am impure. Disagree all you want, but my touch kills. I'm a strange, incomprehensible, irrational creature. Or maybe I'm not even a living being. And that's why, when I touch something that is, I bring them death.
If only I actually were a witch. If only I actually had some kind of extraordinary power. Regardless of whether it came from God or the devil, then I would be able to grant people's wishes.
My wish need not be granted.
But it's what I want to. It's what I want to do. I wish to be able to touch you. I would be perfectly content with nothing changing, with us never being able to touch one another. I would be more than happy with that. But I'm allowed to dream, aren't I? It doesn't have to be in this life. I pray the day will come that we can get closer, even if it has to happen in another life.
Happiness is very much a stranger to me. But am I allowed to dream too?
You are.
I will never touch you. I swear it. But I would like to dream about it. I would like to imagine placing my hand upon your cheek.
You can. Reach your hand out for me. I will imagine it too. I am imagining your fingers running through my hair, brushing up against my skin. I can feel your warmth.
There was a wall between them, a wall they could not cross. For if they did, it would mean the white-haired girl's death. No matter how much they yearned for it, they could not touch one another, so they did so within the confines of their imagination, envisioning it in as much detail as they could manage. It was sad but sweet, a moment of pristine, untainted beauty. The two of them emanated serenity. As fitting as the word cursed might have been to the mansion as a whole. At the top of the observation tower, a pure bond was being shared. A fleeting moment between a young man with a cursed touch and a kind-hearted, beautiful girl. The dream did not last long, no, for God is quite cruel. Yeah, we didn't imagine it would. Okay, before we go on quickly, that was really sweet, and now it also kind of makes sense that they didn't show us the white-haired girl's face, like any sprite, any image, so far in this door, in this chapter. Because then this moment had more impact, of course. First of all, her saying that, yeah, maybe we can see or touch one another in another life. I'm immediately thinking, is she the one who started, like, yeah, the kind of curse of her being reborn all over again? Did she cause that herself now? Is that her power that she doesn't know about? Or is that again something someone else will do? Yeah, and then next part is, of course, having a look at whether that's really a thing. Oh my god, okay, wait, let us go. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, interesting. Okay, what the heck? Wait, there's a lot here. Let's go back to structure. Yeah, that part should have been okay. Please lead the way. Okay. What a sweet girl she was. Top of the tower. Seems. Host of heaven felt the same. Okay. As a bit of an aside, I'd like to share with you a little fact of life, my dear. Humans have a far greater capability to hurt, betray, and forsake others than they do to love, trust, and protect them. And that's precisely what the majority of people do. Yes, I believe you know good and well that no matter how much you may trust someone, they're still going to abandon you in the end. Okay. Whoever that said that. Then this whole conversation is not what we were just shown. Okay. My dear friend, the two of us have much more in common with each other than anyone else. We both suffered at others' hands, and we both deserve to have our vengeance. What? But would she have said that, the white-haired girl? Like, of course she isn't named here, but... Oh, right, and also they're saying something about someone's watching or listening. Well, we are, aren't we? The house is. Maybe the maid is. Is the maid the original witch? Maybe? Go on, what's the matter? Make this tale into your reality. Surrender yourself in this moment to this beautiful story and remain here in the mansion with Giselle. Watch in this moment, this dream. Who are you? Well, that's a surprise. You actually have a conscious mind. And are you aware of who you are? You know nothing. Who are you? Someone you once spent a great deal of time with. I must say, I'm impressed you made it back here, my dear. Your soul was ground into dust. It will all come back to you eventually, and then I'll be there with you again, my dear, whispering into your ear for centuries to come. And this time, I will not fail. I'll mold your soul into the same shape as mine. What a wonderful little show these puppets are putting on for us, wouldn't you say? Giselle. Giselle? Indeed, that is Giselle. The white-haired girl standing there is Giselle. We once read a book together. It was by the fireplace. You did not. Those memories are false. Books belong in the library. Why would they be by the fireplace? Because there's light there, duh. Curse them, slaughter them, revile them, inflict eternal suffering on all their souls. Take revenge on the fools who laughed as we agonized. There was a wall between them, a wall they could not cross, yeah. That's what you said. Oof. Revenge on the fools who laughed as we agonized. This is so messy. Very interestingly set up, but so messy. And it's also Like, if I wasn't told to check the backlog, I probably wouldn't have, because again, I would have only thought to maybe check it at those parts where within the story names and stuff were X'd out. But not here, where it's really portrayed as, yes, this is what happened. Interesting. And the dream did not last long, no, for God is quite cruel. They simply wanted to be together, that was all. Their wish was hardly unreasonable. Only a quiet, peaceful life together. But misfortune was creeping ever nearer, its footsteps growing more and more pronounced. Oh boy. I mean, for sure you can just enjoy the story as is, and the reveal will come eventually. But still, it's an interesting angle. Sorry, just let me check again if there's anything. No. Ooh, okay.
Is someone at the door?
The flow of time was hazy within the mansion's walls. They had little way of telling whether it was night or day, preventing them from knowing exactly how much time had passed. The white-haired girl had made a habit of climbing the observation tower every so often to see whether the sun was up, which allowed her to approximate the time of day. Consequently, when she heard the knock on the door, she was not aware just how deep the night was outside, that forest and beast alike lay quietly at rest.
Oh, right. The stores in the cellar are almost exhausted. It must be this month's delivery.
Not thinking it was worth bothering Michelle over, she made her way out of her chambers and headed for the entrance. There had only been a single knock, leading her to conclude that, as before, the servant had simply left the box outside the door. So without a second thought, she opened the door. And there she saw a strange, vagrant man standing in the moonlight. His clothes were tattered, his bearded face bony and emaciated. She gasped, shrinking back several paces. The heavy door began to swing shut, but the man forced it open, glaring down at her with unfocused eyes and mumbling, "Are ye the witch that'll grant people's wishes?" It was in that moment that the white-haired girl realized she had been careless. The man had sought out the mansion because he believed the legend of the witch. And he did not seem particularly right of mind either, perhaps a result of wandering through the forest for several days. Or perhaps it was because he was so beaten down that he thought to ask for a witch's help. In a word, he seemed mad.
No. There is no witch here.
Sure there is. Don't you lie to me. I can hear the witch's voice. She led me to this house.
I promise you, there isn't. Now please, be on your way.
Have you any idea how long it took to find this place? How many days I've gone without food or water? And you're telling me to get lost?
I don't know what you want from me. I'm I'm happy to give you a little food, so please.
Is there really no witch?
There's no witch here. It's nothing but a legend. If she does exist, she doesn't live here.
I see. Then that means you're just an ordinary person. Just a person. Just a girl. So there ain't a thing you can do.
No, get away from me. What are you doing?
Why waste time waiting for you to get me a little grub when I can just take it all? I'm starving here. I'm so hungry I could eat human.
You're about to commit a grievous sin. Are you not ashamed to act in defiance of God?
God. If I believed in God, would I come back into a witch? I don't fear him, and I sure as hell don't fear people. Who's gonna show up at a house in the middle of nowhere? Who's gonna call me out? Who's gonna stop me? No one, that's who. No one's gonna stop me, and no one's gonna offer me salvation. Ah, there's a thought. You're a woman, so therefore I kill you. What are you doing? What? There are other people here?
The white-haired girl lay pinned on the floor beneath the yelling bandit, pleading for help with her ruby eyes. As soon as Michel grasped the situation, he tossed his candlestick aside and leapt for the man. The candlestick gave a sharp clang when it hit the floor. The impact extinguished the flame, bringing the mansion to near-perfect darkness. Something glinted in the bandit's hand, and then, without hesitation, he thrust it at Michel.
Michel!
How stupid must you be to come at me unarmed?
In his hand, the man held a knife, its tip dripping with Michel's blood. Red spilled from the gash in his arm, the flow growing heavier with each passing moment.
You're the only other person here by the looks of it, eh? Perfect. I'll take you both out.
You.
What?
You don't appear to know whose house you tried to break into.
What are you on about?
Regret your ignorance to your very last breath.
You're messed up in the head, you madman. Hey, stay the hell back. Take one more step and...
I inherited the witch's curse.
Let go.
Michel clutched the man's face in one hand. The man raised his knife to strike back, but...
What's happening?
The strength drained from his fingers, the knife falling to the floor. The man writhed in Michel's grip.
My face! My face! I can't breathe.
Leave
Leave this place immediately. Though you won't get far, afflicted with my curse. Helpless to fight back, nay, helpless to even consider fighting back, the bandit fled from the mansion in terror. In his wake, only the white-haired girl and a bleeding Michelle remained.
I just saw a man's life drained from him. His face withering away, sucked completely dry. I didn't doubt him, but dear God, that was
quite disturbing for you, I'm sure.
No, not at all. It's my fault anyway, if I hadn't been so careless. Oh, your arm! We need to get that wrapped up.
Please, do not touch me. You mustn't touch me. The wound is hardly fatal.
It's all my fault. I'm so sorry.
No, a degree of blame falls on me for saying nothing. Next time someone comes to the door, let me know.
I'm sorry.
Please, you don't need to apologize.
Yeah, please don't. Not for... not using words on someone like that, but okay.
Well...
Yes?
For once, I'm actually proud of myself. Proud that I could use this terrible ability of mine to do something more than just take life. To protect someone I care about. So, like I said, please don't apologize.
All right. Thank you. Michelle? I'm glad you're here. I care about you too.
Thank you. Okay, wait. Did that all happen? Because before... Wait. Oh, I'm having another thought, but... Like before, when they agreed that she can stay here, it seemed like maybe... Or even in the tower, like, is she... I'm so confused. That's basically it. I'm so confused. Okay, so here nothing is X'd out, which would make it seem like this all happened. I was just thinking back to that scene where we had these horrible noises last time, where you could guess that maybe Giselle isn't even alive anymore. But then the scene in the tower doesn't make sense. I was just wondering if all this is in our head anyway. But then the next thought was maybe all these scenes we're showing aren't necessarily in the right chronological order. Another possibility. But also, is this curse real? Is that it? Is the whole touching her face in the tower thing something else? I don't know. Very odd. Maybe a little reveal here already. Had the flame of Michelle's candle not gone out when he threw it to the floor, he would have seen a heartfelt smile on the white-haired girl's face, and she would have seen a flush of red and an awkward smile on Michelle's normally blank face. He also might have seen a little glimmer on her cheek, where a few drops of his blood had landed. But alas, they had no light. Yeah, that's actually what I was wondering too, when it was said that his blood splattered, that if she was hit by it, that would also do something to her. There was nothing else there, right? I'm sorry for checking it so often now, but as you saw, yeah. I'm just getting paranoid about with that one scene where at the end there was this big red text, but it was also a bit more obvious that something was happening there, so yeah. The collapse of the happiness came slowly, gradually. Perhaps it was because she had touched his blood instead of his skin. But the deterioration of the white-haired girl's health crept along at a relaxed pace. The life was not sucked out of her in the blink of an eye, as it had been from the bandit. She merely grew progressively less and less healthy. Amidst her physical decay, she was bestowed with one blessing. Her beauty remained untouched. But as far as blessings went, surely there were others she could have been granted. Could God have not picked something a little better for her? Why is God mentioned so much here? Does it really matter? No, not to... Oh, not getting into that whole thing, but in the context of the story. By the time the two of them had realized what was happening, it was already too late. The white-haired girl had grown so weak she could hardly leave her bed. Yes?
Oh, you are there.
I am.
Thank goodness. I can't see very well anymore.
Okay, that went quickly. How could this happen? I thought I had saved you, but no, I did the exact opposite.
Please, don't talk that way. You did save me that day.
But you're on the cusp of death now, and it's my fault. Because of this curse I bear. How? How could this happen? Why did this have to happen? What am I? Why was I given this body?
Michelle. Can I, ask you a favor?
Go ahead.
Stay with me, please. As much as you can. Until the very end.
I was going to do as much anyway.
Thank you. I'm happy, Michelle. Happier than I have ever been. And I mean that. You didn't just save my life. You saved me. I've been saved. but only me. I wonder how we'll handle things when I'm gone. If only I hadn't opened the door that day. I wouldn't be leaving him all alone. And we could be happy together for even longer.
Yes?
Would you please hold my hand? I think it's probably safe now.
I will not. I cannot touch you. If I do, I might take what remains of your life. Take your beauty away and force you to die hideous. I cannot touch you. Oh? No. Sorry. First we have... yeah, we have to go back to that. Okay. Huh. Collapse of happiness. No additions, really. Okay. Please hold my hand. Oh, there it is. Dark. 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 It's dark. How long has it been dark here? How long have I been in the darkness? It's so cold here. Freezing. Where could she have gone? Where could she... Giselle, yes. Her smile shines so bright it can cast away that darkness. I must take her hand. She's been calling for me for so long. Take her hand? But I'm cursed. That would kill you. Kill her. No, this is all a lie. Okay. And ear. It's her. On his way back from the washroom several days later, Michel heard muffled voices. He got it. Ill. Good. He was having trouble making out what they were saying, but he could tell it was several men, and they were outside the front door. The fact that he could hear them at all through the heavy door meant they were probably shouting quite loudly. An indescribable sense of uneasiness came over him. Bread. He drew nearer to the door and focused on the voices on the other side. They grew clearer, enough for him to make out what the men were saying. Everything's in place. We're ready to kill this witch now. This is definitely the place. That half-dead bandit said she was in this mansion. Listen well, no matter what we find in there, we kill it. It could be a child for all I care. That doesn't change anything. Kill the witch. Kill the witch, kill the witch, kill the witch. Yeah, have we heard that before? What he heard beyond the door was a group of men shouting for the death of the witch. In that moment, Michel regretted his decision to let the bandit go free and not watch over him until the moment of his demise. He must have made his way down to the village in search of help, where he revealed that what he had found at the mansion. Damn it. But it was too late. Regret would solve nothing. He could neither stop the villagers from raiding the house, nor could he stop the white-haired girl from dying to the effects of his curse. He was helpless to do anything. The gears of his fate had locked him onto a path of tragedy and were turning mercilessly onward. The men had begun trying to break down the door with what sounded like a battering ram. While the first strike was not enough to breach the barrier, it was still quite powerful. He was certain it would not hold for long. Michel's mind raced. Was there anything he could do about his predicament? How could he escape from the corner he had been backed into? Despite his possessing inhuman powers, he would be powerless against a full mob of adult men. The villagers almost certainly came armed as well.
Michel?
A weak voice came from behind him. Aghast, he spun around to find the white-haired girl stumbling toward him. She breathed heavily, leaning against columns for support. What are you doing out here? You'll only worsen your condition by exerting yourself.
I had a sinking feeling, and I heard noises on my way here. It seems that I have brought all my misfortune upon you.
Don't say that.
If I hadn't come here, this never would have happened. You never would have been in any danger. Please, Michel, hand me over to the men outside.
Absolutely not. I will do no such thing.
They're here for the witch, aren't they? I'm guessing they're the same people who were chasing me before. The village had a poor harvest this year, I hear. Like the village in the legend. And they believe it's the witch's curse.
But you're not a witch.
They need someone to fill the role, though. So please, hand me over. And then escape on your own.
I could never.
Please, Michel.
I'm the one who's cursed, not you. And you want me to hand you over? What would I have left then? Nothing. Not a thing. I would have nothing. After so long, I finally found someone who isn't afraid of me, who won't run. I have no interest in a world that would take you away from me, make me live alone once more. To hell with such a world.
Michel.
Would you be willing to die with me?
If that's what you wish. Then stay with me until the very end.
Oh boy. I never know when to take breaks, but sorry. This is just because before we found that one passage of basically self-monologue within the text that wasn't so apparent, so I'm sorry if I missed anything in the backlog. But also, if you're very interested in the game, I would always say go and buy it yourself, and then you can check everything in your own pace. As usual. Yeah, okay.
I probably wanted to hear that just as much as him. No, not probably. I did. I wanted to have someone at my side as much as him. It's so lonely not having anyone. To live alone. To die alone. To not have anyone watching over you. For no one to even know you're dead. I simply wanted someone to tell me they're here for me. To be there. To hold my hand. How wonderful that would be. The sense of utter relief it would bring would be enough to cast away all the pain. To allow me to accept all our suffering. So please, tell me you'll...
Okay. Michelle and the white-haired girl chose to spend their final moments at the top of the observation tower. They could hear the crash of the battering ram against the door, the shouts of the men, and the stomping feet. But despite all that, the ray of light shining through the little window was as beautiful as always. The room's air of serenity remained unimpeached. After the long climb to the top, the white-haired girl was terribly out of breath. Michelle considered several times offering her his hand, but the possibility that doing so might rob her of her last scraps of life stayed his hand. It sounds like they broke down the door. I'm glad we made it up here when we did.
I'm so sorry for asking this of you.
Don't be. I would have chosen here for my final moments as well. This is the one place in this mansion with any sunlight. The one place I can get a good look at you.
Thank you. I'm truly glad that I was able to end up here. That I was able to meet you. And more than anything, that you said you cared about me. Have I managed to become an essential part of your life?
Do you even need to ask? I wouldn't be here otherwise. I feel the same way as you. I'm sure of it.
The two of us are more similar than you probably care to admit. Can I ask you one more thing?
Go on.
Would you embrace me? If this is to be the end, if this is to be my last chance, then I don't want it to end without having been able to touch you. Please, don't refuse me this, Michelle. Just do it, please.
I won't keep you waiting long.
Thank you.
The truth is, I always wanted this. I dreamed of being able to hold you.
I dreamed of it too. Thank you. I'm so very...
She's still so beautiful. What a cruel joke. Could you not have given us some other miracle? One that would allow us both to survive? Where are you? Where'd you get off to? I can't find her, damn it. Hey, there's some stairs over here. They lead up. Beneath a single ray of light, the white-haired girl lay completely still. Not even a frail sigh escaped her closed lips. She remained as gorgeous as ever. It was as though she had simply fallen asleep in the sunlight. Looking down upon her, Michelle determined to do one thing. I will not allow anyone to sully the sight. He gave a fleeting glance back at her pristine corpse, then opened the door and stepped through it alone. He would protect that room where she lay. Hey, there's someone up here. So this is where you've been hiding, you infernal witch. Wait, that's not the girl. The raucous sound of their footsteps rang up from below. Shortly thereafter, the men themselves came into view. As he had expected, they were heavily armed. He glowered at the men, then sucked in a deep breath and shouted at the top of his lungs. I am the witch you seek. I have inherited her curse, and it is I who brings calamity upon you. You hear that? But he's a... man or woman, it doesn't matter. Death to anyone who has ties to the witch. Cleanse this earth of all impurity. Kill him, kill him, kill him! Michelle did not flinch at the sight of the men. He stood unyielding between them and the door. He did not flinch when they raised their weapons against him, nor when they pierced his body. Die and take your curse with you. I have no need for this life any longer. It's all yours. I am cursed to kill even that which I wish to protect. But at the very least, I can protect one thing before my life is done. Not even one of you will leave this place. Wither and die by my curse. The blood spilling from a skewered body flowed down the stairs, down and down like a little river, soaking the feet of every single man who had stormed the mansion. This was the last thing he saw before the final grains of life slipped between his fingers, which brought a faint smile to his lips. Wait. Oh boy. But we have to go back. Of course we have to. To have known. Okay, but we saw all this, right? Uh-huh. Okay. You always have to check. So he's gone. But her? Neither of them had expected what happened next, though, for God has a most twisted sense of humor. The white-haired girl had not miraculously passed away without being robbed of her beauty.
Why am I still alive?
She had, rather, not passed away at all. Quite cruel of him, was it not?
Michelle? Where have you gone, Michelle? Michelle? I smell blood.
For had he allowed her to die, she would not have been made to witness the scene that awaited her.
No. No.
And I am sure you know just what it was she laid eyes upon in that moment. The ravaged corpse of her beloved. A torrent of blood streaming down, down, down the spiral staircase. And the sickening stench it raised.
No. Why?
And his was not the only body. The villagers who had assaulted the mansion had been subjected to his curse. Their life drained from their withered shells.
Why did this? Michelle, why? Why am I the only one still alive?
That is a question I cannot answer either. Perhaps his curse did not affect those he loved, as terribly cruel as that might be. I cannot say.
Why? You said we would go together. A world without you has no meaning.
Had she actually expended her life there in the room at the top of the tower, perhaps this tale could have had a happy ending. She would have at least been able to have the man she loved at her side until her very last moments upon this earth. But that was not what had transpired. She had survived, been left utterly alone. I felt a profound pity for the miserable girl. So I called out to her. Would you like to see him once more?
What?
I have the power to help you meet him again.
Who's there? Where are you?
You know what they call this mansion. So, who do you suppose remains on these grounds?
No way. You're from the legend. You actually exist.
Now, I asked you a simple question. Would you like to see him again?
The witch grants people's wishes, but at a price.
Thank you for remembering.
I said I wouldn't ask her for assistance if I met her. But that's all changed. Now that I've lost him. If it's truly possible, then yes, I want to see him. Bring him back to life.
Regrettably, I cannot directly meddle with the forces of life and death. However, I can guarantee you this. Your reconstruction.
Reconstruction?
Correct. To ensure that you remain as yourself in future lives and are not reborn as someone else, your body and mind shall be reconstructed. As shall his. If you sincerely wish to reunite with one another, if you genuinely need each other in your lives, you will eventually meet again. All I can promise you is eternal reconstruction. What you make of it is up to you. So in a roundabout way, I was right. The girl herself made it so. She is reborn or reconstructed. You want to see him again, don't you? You want to hear his voice again, don't you? You want to feel his hand on your cheek once more, don't you? If that's what you want, then you must remain who you are. If you are simply reborn, that wouldn't be you. So there wouldn't be any point, would there?
Me, as I am. And he, as he is.
Make up your mind quickly. I will not wait long.
I want to see him again.
As you wish, sweet little girl.
I shall grant you both eternal reconstruction, and pray with all my heart that you can attain true happiness. Shortly thereafter, the white-haired girl took her own life. She decided she had nothing to gain by remaining in the present time, and that in order to reunite with Michel, she needed to make her way to her next life. And thus, the mansion was left bereft of a master, to travel slowly through the ages until someone came along to give it life once more. You know the drill, we have to see. Although I have a feeling this cannot be a lie. Well, I mean, everything can be a lie at this point. But why would this part be? Although it doesn't make sense if some of the scenes before were indeed a lie. Huh. Misty Manor. So that was the whole fourth door. I kind of thought it would go on for longer. But an unfathomable amount of time has passed, and the two have still yet to reunite. Have they, Master? You know now who you are, do you not? You remember everything now, do you not? You were present in every single era. The reason for which is as I described in the previous tale. Because you yearned to be reunited with someone. But that person never showed up in any era. And poor, sweet you, having no memory of any of that, lived those lives with other men. Is it any surprise misfortune befell those eras then? The door swung closed. But rather than outside, you and the maid were inside the dull, monochrome room at the top of the observation tower. The awe-inspiring ray of light shone not through the lone window high upon the stone wall. Wrapped in a curious, impenetrable darkness, you both stood alone in the room. The maid wore a gentle but brittlely cold smile as she looked straight at you. It is not your fault misfortune befell you. The only force to blame for that is fate. You were always so kind, so pure of heart. You had boundless trust for others and the goodness of people. You were the very image of all that is right. There is no greater misfortune than someone as pure and beautiful as you, being mercilessly thrown into the grinding gears of tragedy again and again. I still pity you for everything you had to go through. You poor, poor soul. You must be utterly exhausted. Constantly betrayed, the man you were waiting for never appearing. After so long, your spirit worn down to the bone, you lost any and all awareness of who you even were. Who were you hoping to find wandering into this illusory mansion, cut off from the real world? You and I are the only ones here. The man you seek is nowhere to be found. Have you still not figured it out? Then allow me to tell you everything. I mean, I think it's quite clear at this moment. Oh, I was wondering if we even still get more text. Oh boy. Okay, wait. Wait. So, sorry, my thoughts are all over the place. I mean, I had considered the possibility of us being Giselle at some points. But then some of the thoughts in there, because some of the thoughts in there, like, oh, lies, that's not how it happened, I would have thought is more of an indication that we were Michelle. Huh? This is so odd. This is so odd. But yeah, also wondering if any of this backlog sorry, I'm kind of excited that we're getting into it right now. But I would have thought this was it. Like, we're going straight text now. Because we were looking at the memory. Never showed up. Your boundless trust. Being mercilessly thrown into the grinding gears of tragedy again and again. Still pity you for everything you had to go through. Your poor soul. You must be utterly exhausted, constantly betrayed. The man you were waiting for never appearing. After so long, your spirit worn down to the bone, you lost any and all awareness of who you even were. Who were you hoping to find, wandering to this illusory mansion, cut off from the real world? That at some point I had wondered too if the whole mansion, if any of that is even real. I mean, any of the memories, but they seem to be, even if it's not the complete truth, like every detail. Man you seek is nowhere to be found. Oh, maybe I misread something. I'm just... yeah. Whew. Okay. Allow me to tell you everything. I am the cursed witch Morgana, who haunts this mansion. And you are the tragic plaything of fate, the white-haired girl named Giselle. Yeah, we kind of figured that out in the end there, I think. But thank you for clarifying, because it was confusing. Did my calling you master confuse you? If so, then I apologize. My habit of calling the master or mistress of the house master is quite deeply ingrained. And yes, that means precisely what you think it does. That I have accepted you as my new master. That I wish for you to remain here. To stay with me. So, let us put an end to this journey. Do not worry, there is nothing to fear. We are simply going to step outside the river of time. Nothing unpleasant will ever happen to you again. I will be here with you for all eternity, and I will give you my utmost care. You will not have to wait for anyone. Forget about him, the man you once sought. And I am sure you shall find happiness. Please, do it for me. I have been waiting for you for so very long. I have wanted nothing more than to see you again. But you were continually stolen away from me, despite my sincerest desires to spend my days with you. Which is why I wanted you to recall everything. Isn't that counterproductive? Like, honestly. For surely you would not willingly repeat the same fate, if you knew of all the pain it has caused you to suffer thus far. Spend eternity with me, in the gentle embrace of darkness. The maid extended her hand for you. Her fingers, brushing up against yours, were as cold as ever. But her breath tickled your skin pleasantly, and her sweet words rang in your ears, filling you with warmth. You thought back on your time with her in the mansion. She had, indeed, always treated you with great compassion, and nothing she had said seemed to be a lie. Well, about that. And so, you pondered. What were you to do? Accept her proposition, reject her proposition, or there is still more to be done. Oh boy. First of all, is there still anything hidden here? No, not really. So you can... I guess not. Okay, so I would think accepting a proposition would lead us straight into the bad end, wouldn't it? Like, accept eternity together with her in darkness. Like, maybe that's not the worst fate, but Giselle wished... I mean, first of all these hidden messages in the backlog should be a very clear message that we cannot trust the maid completely, right? Because she put it very simply, no, oh, of course. Like, yeah, I just want to be with you, blah. But also, that's just totally against what Giselle wished. She wanted to meet Michelle again, and if this hasn't happened yet, her wish hasn't been granted yet. So that would mean rejecting a proposition makes more sense. But I think that there is still more to be done is the correct answer. And quite frankly, I have heard that there is a fifth door. Just keeping it real here. But in any case, we will do a save here. The witch, of course. And I will keep the final decision until next time. Because the episode has been going on long enough. And I think I'm going to go with the third option. I don't know how long is left in this game if we don't go into a bad end, which if we did, I would just restart it anyway. But yeah, if you have like a rough estimate on how long we have left in the game, if we are trying for the good end, please let me know, and let me know all your other thoughts as well. Everything that's non-spoilery, as always. And yeah, I think that's enough for today, even though I know we're all curious about how this will be finally resolved. Yeah. I'm not wholly surprised, but it's still something. There's still some loose ends. So, yeah, we'll see. But thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.